Babe's a hell of a chapter. Today is actually tomorrow for me. It's actually midnight right now. I don't know if I look tired, feel a little tired, just got done playing some pickleball. Happy to get back and do an actual chapter, not the live action or anything silly like that, but the actual chapter was very pleasant. I loved it. It was it kind of had two main scenes, but I was very much about it. We first start out with the man, the myth, the legend, Kuma the bear made it. He actually made it over the red line and is at Mary Joie. Face to face with Akainu. Sakazuki, the fleet admiral, ever heard of him? And he's putting in work. I don't know how he still has energy. I don't know any of that. And a very threatening man, one of the most dangerous men in all of One Piece, is standing right in front of him. And not only does he escape, because as you can see here, this is an interesting chapter for admirals as a whole. Very interesting. Kuma understood that he wasn't going to win that fight. That wasn't even a fight he wanted to be in. He did not have a dog in that race. He wanted to get out as soon as he possibly could, and he did. He took a couple of hits. He definitely took a lot of damage quickly. And if you look back quickly, he lost a foot. He lost half his face. He got a little bit of the Whitebeard treatment for sure. But he escaped. He very much escaped. Now, him being half cyborg, I think is fair. We don't know what he's doing, but I know it's going to make me sad. I know it's going to make me emotional. I know whatever he's doing might even make me cry. But he's actually doing it. And do you see how much he's actually done to this point? This has started from him racing off of the Okama Kingdom island all the way here, climbing all the way up, after being assaulted the entire time, getting past the fleet admiral, losing a foot, after already being super damaged before even getting on the Revolutionary Army island. He's all beat up already, and that man is trying to do something special in Mary Joie. I have no idea what it is. I know it's going to be super, super, super important, whatever that thing is, but he did it. Whatever it is. I don't know if it has to do with what happened at the end of the chapter. I wouldn't be entirely surprised, but he fucking did it. He is kind of dying, but I think that he just gave all of the entire revolution, not just the Revolutionary Army, but I think it's going to affect Luffy very heavily. He turned the tide a little bit. I don't know what he did, but it feels like he's turned the tide in some way, shape, or form. I'm sure a lot of other people think what happened at the end of the chapter he did, and I could see that happening, but we definitely don't know that. The siege is still taking place. Everyone's attacking. We have Garcia has not left the boat. Garcia is still just chilling, doing his thing. And then something very important happened. We saw Snake Man once again. We haven't seen Snake Man. I mean, I guess it hasn't been too long. Snake Man came out against Katakuri. We saw it a couple times in Wano, but all in all, it wasn't doing too much. Snake Man was actually pretty good against Kaido. I find it interesting that, and I read two different translations of this, but Kizaru talks about, oh, you're tough. No wonder you beat Kaido. No wonder you're the one to take Kaido down. He's saying that when he's in Snake Man. Snake Man put in some work against Kaido, but nothing. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, the amount of damage done to him was minimal in Snake Man. And if nothing else, you can see that from the anime, which I'm going to bring up here again in a second. But it's funny that Kizaru talks about speed. Now you have to understand, and the anime does a decent job of showing it, Luffy is so fast now, it's insane. It's insane. I can't 100% say that in Gear 5 he's faster than Kizaru, but I'm pretty sure in Gear 5 he is faster than Kizaru. Faster than the speed of light. Obviously the fight in the anime is way crazier with him bouncing between lightning and doing all these crazy things. But I have to think that his speed, his ability to adapt to his terrain and modify it in order to make him even faster, I think that he might have him beaten the speed category. I can't guarantee it because this man ate the glint glint fruit a while ago and has been this light man for a long time. But he hits Luffy and he's like, speed is power. And I'm like, just wait. You're going to eat those words here in a little bit. But it's all showing from the admirals besides that. But for Luffy, I'm going to look too much into it, even though I shouldn't, but I'm gonna. For Gear 4 Snake Man to keep up with Kizaru as well as it did, it's very impressive. I mean, it's very impressive. I think that it's going to be very telling. Gear 5 is on an entirely different plane. You have to understand that Gears 2 and 3 are like baby shit now. Like, they're not doing anything to anyone over like 600 or 700 unless it's like a combination of the two. Just really big guns, and hit with the first attack that he hit Dragon Kaido with, it's just not too useful anymore. And then even from that, Gear 4 is a solid step up from just those two. A solid step up. Regardless if he's Bound Man or Snake Man, it's a decent jump up. And then Gear 5 is a bigger gap than 4 from 2 to 3 from 4 to 5. Gear 5 right here right now is here. We don't know where it is. I don't know where it is. I know you don't know where it is. But I think we're about to get a bit more of that. I see this moment as a stepping stone for Luffy. As a stepping stone. As we're coming to the end of One Piece, I think that understanding how fast and how strong Luffy is, measured up with a man like Kizaru, is going to be perfect. We see that Kizaru definitely holds some admiration and love for both Bonnie and Vegapunk. We already knew that he did for Sentomaru, calling him his uncle, but the relationship that he shares with Bonnie, I'm not entirely sure. But it doesn't seem like he wants to do anything with them. I don't know if he also grew up in the North Blue. I don't know if that has some type of connection, but these guys are all what seems like having worked together at some point. Kizaru whoops them all real quick after sending Luffy away. And like I told you last time, his priority is killing Vegapunk. That's his priority. And he talks about it. He's like, this isn't an easy mission. And then out of nowhere, I love this panel of Luffy just grabbing him as a big man. We saw him do the same thing with Kaido, but I love him just grabbing him. It's the funniest thing. He talks about him being like super hot. And then there's two translations. So the one that I read, it says, there you are, this is, and we don't know. But in the other one, it's like, oh, this is that rumored form. Like, this is the... And I was like, all right, so he clearly knows about this form. He looks like somewhat worried, but it's Kizaru. I think that he's going to be able to hold his own, even against Gear 5, for at least a little bit. I'm excited to see what it is, but we already see the escape route. That machinery that they first stumbled upon on Egghead is awakening. I could see what Kuma's doing being paired to that. I'm not entirely... I can't even say I don't think so, because it could be. That could be something that comes alive that the world needs in order to combat whatever the Navy or the government is going to throw at them. But whatever happens on this island is going to be huge, is going to be ginormous. I don't know. Who knows? That could be taken by... it could be taken by Blackbeard's people who are on there. But actually, I'm literally noticing this right now. Like I said, it's late. I only read the chapter once. It's the drums of liberation that are turning this dude on. It's the drums of liberation. So seeing exactly maybe what that is that's going to empower more and more things and maybe even move technology, doesn't seem like Vegapunk's going to die right now. I'm really interested to see that. It's funny that I'm seeing that right now, but it's straight up the drums of liberation with real power turning these things on. And it's amazing to me that they have that power, and the certain things, creatures, mythical beings that are able to hear the drums of liberation. So take note of that. Great chapter. No break next week, which is very exciting. I'm releasing this video right now because fuck it. I think Gear 5 Luffy is about to put the hurt on Kizaru just a little bit. He'll get away. Don't think this is the end of Kizaru. I love him too much, and I only start loving him more and more. But he's clearly conflicted. He's clearly conflicted with what he wants personally and what is business. And he's a businessman. That's what he does. He does his duty. That is Kizaru. Great character. Excited to see more of him. Excited to see more of the crew. Vegapunk, everybody. I love the Gear 5 eyes, by the way. They're up. Love them. Tell me what you guys thought about the chapter. I'll see you next week for another one. And have a great night. Bye.